What's going on? What's going on? This is All Sports, All Plays. It's another episode of Real Talk. It's good to be back. What's up with it, Chris? It's my first time being back with you. We can't hear you, my friend. Yeah.
My bad, Jason Woodlock. Saying I'm playing though. What's up, Freddie? What's up, Freddie? What's up, Kenny? Man, glad to be back. Time to talk sports, man. You know, Freddie, I'm not going to say I missed you, but I missed, making fun of your crazy takes.
Yeah. What's up with it, Kenny? How's it going, friend?
I'm good, man. Glad to have you back. Always ready to just check you and put you in place when you start talking reckless. So let's get to it.
Oh man, y'all got to show me some love some way. Before we get into the show, Chris, tell the wonderful folks out there how they can get a free T-shirt.
Yes. To get a free T-shirt, what I want you to do is like our page, share the page, like our video, share the video. At the end of the month, we're going to be starting this back up real soon. But at the end of the month, we're going to crown, one of our viewers, viewer of the month, and that viewer of the month is going to get their very own ASAP Network T-shirt.
Cool. Now let's say maybe they don't have time to watch a live video. Maybe they catch it in the morning, but they still want one of these T-shirts. How can they get one of the shirts in?
Yeah, so if you're rewatching this, on YouTube, if you're rewatching this on Facebook, you listening to this one of the audio platforms, you can still message us on Facebook, message us on Instagram or Twitter. If you know one of the analysts personally, search our $14.99 plus shipping and handling. Like I said, you can message one of the analysts. You can message the ASAP Network page itself. Search our $14.99 plus shipping and handling. We're gonna get them to you ASAP.
All right, gentlemen, let's do what we do best. Let's get on into these topics. All right, so hey. We always start with a hot take. We know the draft this upcoming Thursday, so let's give us an NFL hot take. We'll start this one with Chris.
NFL hot take. The Patriots will trade up. I believe, to get Trey Lance or to get Justin Fields. I think. Me personally, I think Fields is going to go number 3. We're going to talk about it a little bit later. But, when you look at the draft, you got 4 through 7, 4 through 8 are really not getting a QB. We talking about teams like the Bengals. We talking about teams like the Falcons really don't need a QB. We talking about teams like the Dolphins. Teams like the Panthers who just traded for a QB. I don't see them going QB until it goes to the Broncos. The Denver Broncos need to replace Drew Lock. And I feel like if Trey Lance or if Justin Fields is available, they would take him. So I think the Patriots will trade up to get one of those guys because I do believe they are better than Mac Jones. I don't think Mac Jones is a terrible quarterback, but if you ask me, I think Fields, Trey Lance are here, and Mac Jones is here for now. He has the potential, but if you ask me who I'd pick, it's Justin Fields and Trey Lance over Mac Jones.
All right, Kenny, give us a hot take, my friend.
You'll like this one, Freddie. I am concerned that Jerry Jones is going to do something to mess up the draft.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Yeah, that's my hot take. All the projections have us taking, one of the corners, Surtain or Horn. Most of them saying Surtain, but I just have this really funny feeling or concern that Jerry Jones is going to swoop in at the last minute and
do something Jerry Jones.
Yeah. If Kyle Pitts somehow slips down to that spot, then he winds up drafting him.
That's not. I wouldn't be that mad
great.
At that. That is great.
I wouldn't be mad at that because you got to take him at that spot. But I'm just saying, just something crazy where the obvious need is we got to take the best available player on defense at that spot. So I'm just concerned he's just going to swoop in and do something crazy.
Oh, Kenny, you beat me to my hot take. Same thing, but what I was going to say is, to me, I was going to piggyback off what you said. To me, the Cowboys need to pick obviously what they need at. They need to fix that offensive line. That offensive line is banged up. They're older. And hey, we all know the Cowboys at their best a few years back is when they had that elite offensive line. But hey,
even back during the 90s run, it was the elite offensive line.
So
now hold on real quick, Kenny. I say if Slater's available, would you be mad if they took him?
That's the O-lineman?
Yes, that's the O-line right after Swoop.
No, I wouldn't be mad at that because, like Freddie said, that's definitely an issue. Of course, with Travis Frederick retiring, Tyron Smith is on his last legs. So if they did that, I wouldn't be mad at that. Freddie, I thought you was gonna, do a take on the Packers or the Giants.
The New York Packers. The New York Packers.
Yeah,
we never forget.
I thought you was gonna go.
No, my Giants they better get that wide receiver. They don't get the wide receiver in this draft, the first round, I'm gonna be pissed. Hey, I will come on here to show pissed off. So just saying.
You said your what?
My New York Giants, Chris. You heard me.
Okay. I ain't even gonna pull the screenshots up. Your first, I'm not even gonna pull out your first show back in a while.
It's his first day back. Yeah.
Hey, it's not just my first day back. It's my first day back on Real Talk in a while.
Yeah, we're gonna let you live.
Yeah, we're gonna let you live for now.
For now.
Yeah. All right, let's move to the next topic, gentlemen. Will Jimmy G still be a 49ers by the first day of the draft? Kenny, where are with you?
Judging by the cryptic tone that his head coach was speaking, I'm saying no. I think they find a way because, honestly, if you didn't, and we've talked about this, you don't move up to the 3 spot and not pick a quarterback. So that's clear that they're going to pick a quarterback. And if you do that, it really makes no sense to have, because Jimmy G wants to be a starter. So really, it's going to be an issue. It's going to be, tension. It's going to be, it's going to be a distraction potentially. So it's going to be the question by the media who's starting. So I think they are going to find a new home for Jimmy G, and he'll be traded on either before or on draft day.
I agree, Kenny, because they need a new quarterback. We all know Jimmy G is a good system quarterback, okay? Maybe if he was with New England or something like somebody like Bill Belichick, that he with the system, he might shine through that. But this 49ers team, I think they blew it on that Super Bowl run that year because they had the defense. They had everything in place, but they did not have a quarterback who can make plays. Whoever you want to blame it on, you want to blame it on the coach or the quarterback. Either one. You should be able to trust your quarterback to still make plays when the coach asks you to make those plays. And Jimmy G's not that guy. So I think he will be gone on the first day of the draft. Chris?
I do think, like I said, I do think that the San Francisco 49ers should draft Justin Fields. However, I still think Jimmy Garoppolo is still going to be on that team after day one. I don't think they're going to get rid of him and just throw Fields into the fire. I think they're going to try. Now, don't get me wrong. If somebody offers a nice deal for Jimmy G, they're going to take it. But realistically, I don't see nobody offering a nice deal for Jimmy G that's going to make them want to, hurry up and get that move done. I don't think nobody's going to offer a sweet deal like that. So I think they're going to go into the season. Jimmy G is going to be named the starter. They can battle it out, but I feel like Jimmy G is going to be named the starter. They're going to go with their guy and see how it goes. If he wins games, then, hey, they're going to keep it going. Sort of like how it was with Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes. If you watch Patrick Mahomes in college, you knew the potential he had. You knew he's a gunslinger. You got Alex Smith, your veteran, your system quarterback. You know he's not going to win you games. He's not going to lose you games, but it's going to be hard for you to win them games. You ride out with him, and when Justin Fields is ready, I think that's when he's going to take over. So I do think Jimmy G is still going to be a 49er at the end of the day.
So, Chris, I hear what you're saying, but what do you think is a fair trade package for a Jimmy G?
I don't think he's I don't think he's that good, if we're being honest, bro. I don't see nobody offering anything better than a 5th round pick. Maybe listen, when the Super Bowl, I was watching the Super Bowl up at my college. I had money on the Chiefs, and I thought I lost it. They put the ball in this man's hands. It was working with the run game, with the play action game. All of a sudden, they switched up the offense. They said, okay, you drop back and you make plays. He dropped back and made plays, and he threw the ball with his eyes closed. So if a quarterback is doing that, I don't think he's good enough to be a starter on the team. So I get what you're saying. I might have gassed it a little bit. Maybe a 3rd or 4th round pick. However, I don't know which team would offer that. I don't see Denver. Maybe that's one. But still, it's like, is he really that much of an upgrade from Drew Lock?
Yeah.
Is he going to win them the Super Bowl?
Not going to win them the Super Bowl, but upgrade.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. But even if I'm the Broncos, I still can go get a Trey Lance or get it at number 9. I still get a Mac Jones at 9.
I
see what you're saying.
I see what you're saying. Trade up though.
I see what you.
You probably got to trade up because they got Mac Jones. I don't think he's projected to go.
I see a lot of seeing him going 15. I see a lot of them going. They don't have him going past the Patriots because if you asking me, I don't see the Panthers just traded for Darnold. I don't see them drafting the QB. Maybe the Lions, but I doubt it because Jared Goff isn't that bad. Yeah, right, and I don't see the Dolphins drafting them or the Bengals. So I feel what you're saying. I see what you're saying about he's an upgrade from Drew Lock, but are you giving up a second or third round pick for him?
You might because again, you said he's not going to lose you. He's not going to lose you games. You know what I mean? He's that system quarterback that's going to keep you competitive. And John Elway, at this point, he hasn't been able to get that quarterback position right yet. So he might want to think it's a safe bet to trade for Jimmy G to know that he's going to have a guy that he can slot in there on day one and start and keep your team competitive.
This is why I gotta disagree because I feel like John Elway wants that guy that's going to take me all the way. He had Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow kept them competitive. Tim Tebow won them a playoff game. The fans love Tim Tebow, but at the end of the day, he's looking to win Super Bowl. So I feel you as that Jimmy G is definitely an upgrade from Drew Lock. I is a huge upgrade. I feel like he can possibly lead him to the wild card. But I don't know if he's going to give up too much just for a guy he knows is going to be a first-round exit. And I think he might, look for the future and look to build and get that Super Bowl winning quarterback. You don't need a great quarterback. Yeah, but they had an all-time great defense. Your Broncos don't have an all-time great defense. That
statement still true, though. There's too many great quarterbacks in the game today. I think you do have to have a good quarterback to win the Super Bowl.
Now you do because nowadays
offense rules the day. No, I was saying offense rules the day in today's NFL. It's hard to have that dominant defense because of the rules. So you have to have that quarterback and you have to be able to score the football in order to win in today's NFL. So it's tough because we've been talking about it. These game managers, they're just not getting the job done in today's league. So you got to have a guy that can, put points on the board.
He's definitely right. I mean, you run this, especially in the playoffs in the Super Bowl, you're going to run and score, but you throw to win. So at the end of the day, your quarterback is going to have to make necessary throws. You're saying the Eagles, but look who won Super Bowl MVP. And I'll do it, Tom Brady. So, we didn't have no scrub. He was definitely better than Drew Lock. So, I mean, you're saying Eagles, but, look what he did in the Super Bowl to win Super Bowl MVP. So, I mean, you're saying he's not a great quarterback.
He keep getting money all around the league. So somebody thinks something of him.
Shots fired. Ladies, if you don't know, Nate the Great is a Denver Broncos fan.
/ Cowboys fans. Cats out the bag. I'm really throwing shots today.
Shooting.
Oh, man. Woo, Nate, I know the feeling how we call a fan of two teams. So,
because you are.
Hey, don't they?
Are we going to do this?
No, not right now.
First day back, we're going to do this?
Not right now. I'm Thursday. Let's move to the next topic. I will say this, I said Thursday, today Monday. Look at this dude right there. Going through the whole slides.
Okay. But he said he was a Giants fan earlier, but what does this say? This say? Yes, I'm a Packers fan, but I like watching the Giants. Oh, okay, go ahead. Back, let's move on, Freddie. I don't want to go too crazy.
I forgot one thing at the beginning of the show, and this is towards Kenny. I wasn't on the show Thursday due to some family issues. This man had I believe it was Thursday, had the audacity to get on this show with that cowboy shirt on. Kenny, I told you, do not wear that shirt.
No, I did not have a cowboy shirt. I had a Knicks shirt on.
No, okay, well, it was last Monday. You was one day last week.
Yeah.
You was on the Cowboys shirt.
Cowboys.
I mean, what's wrong with representing the team?
I'm probably going to wear one Thursday because it's the draft.
Mm-hmm.
You wear that shirt Thursday.
I might wear a jersey just for you.
You
wear that jersey shirt. Hey, I'm coming.
It's just, I know you're still waiting for your New York Packers shirt.
Yeah, he don't get the half. Yeah. They had those half and half jerseys.
That's what it is.
One team on one side, another team on the other side.
It's half Eli Manning and then it's half Aaron Rodgers.
Right. Yeah, that's what get you.
It's definitely not Brett Favre, I'll tell you that. Let's move to the next topic. Let's move to the next topic. What player in the draft do we think that's going to move up that we did not expect, and what player do you guys think is going to drop in the draft that we had high hopes on, Chris?
I'll go with drop, and this might shock a lot of people. I think, Waddle is going to drop past, in that 16, 17 range.
He better not.
Freddie, it's crazy how a lot of people are telling me that, the Giants need to get him, but the Giants, and you told me about all these wide receivers. The Giants have a really, really, really good solid 3 wide receivers, and Galloway, Slayton, and you got Shepard, and you got Ingram, and then you got Rudolph. So I really don't think they need to go pass catcher, because you got all the weapons, you got your running backs. I really, in my mock draft, have them going defense or maybe O-line. When I look at everybody else, Eagles are going to get Smith, in my opinion. I don't see the Chargers getting them. The Vikings get them. I don't see the Patriots getting them after all the wide receivers and tight ends they signed. The Cardinals might get him. I don't know. I think he's going to fall to the Raiders. Me personally, that's my hot take. I think a lot of teams going to pass on him because they don't really need a wide receiver. I wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys ended up getting him, because that's a Jerry Jones thing to do, if I'm being honest.
All-star names, huh?
Yeah, all-star names. But
if we get another receiver like that, God, look out.
Look out to go, 6-10. But
the Cowboys, not the Eagles. But
no, I know we're talking about the Cowboys. But
6-10 is your fortune for next season. But I'm gonna let you.
It's yours too. But the guy that I think is going to move up, honestly, is defensive tackle Christian Barmore. When I was talking about that 16 to 17 range, a lot of people have him at the end of the first round. But when I look at teams that really need a defensive presence, in that interior line, a lot of teams need him. So I think he can move up to the draft, move in that 16, 17, 18, 19 range, because, if you're going to get pressure on a lot of quarterbacks, you need it coming from the inside. A lot of teams need help with their pass rush, and he is by far the best defensive tackle in a very, unstar-studded defensive tackle draft. So those are my 2 picks.
I want to piggyback on what you said real quick, Chris. The New York Giants, they don't draft, wide receiver. I would not mind if they dropped the offensive line, because Dave Gettleman have yet. They keep saying, we need an offensive line, but yet to fix that offensive line. So if they go
trying to get out before him. Who was the GM before him? And brother, that line has been an issue since he was the GM.
Yeah, so if they're able, if they go O-line, I would not have a problem with that, because that is a major issue. Because I have news. Daniel Jones is on the hot seat this year. He did not get it done in New York with weapons, with the Saquon Barkley back, with the defense, and with a decent good coach. If he don't get the job done, at least take us the competitive to a playoff game or get us close to the playoffs, he's out of there.
He has to go. The NFC East is wide open. A lot of these quarterbacks are on the hot seat for taking their team into the playoffs, because the NFC East is wide open. There's no clear-cut favorite for the NFC East. It's wide open. So all starting quarterbacks are on the hot seat.
Yes, sir. All right, Kenny, let's roll.
Yeah, hold up. Before I go, put Nate's last comment up on it.
I want to talk about it too.
Yeah, that should be considered a failed drug test.
Honestly, that was the worst take I ever heard.
Yeah, you can't.
Drew Lock has all these come on, man.
Come on, man.
I never seen Drew Lock throw 7 touchdowns in one game like Nick Foles.
Yeah, I never seen
Drew Lock go like 10-1 through a stretch in the regular season like Nick Foles. So come on now.
Yeah. So, but for me, my pick for the guy that's going to slip was, we talked about him earlier. And they kind of been put a little dirt on his name. Is Justin Fields. Yeah. I think that we got a potential. Oh man, his name just slipped my mind, from the Ravens QB.
Derek Carr?
No, the Ravens QB. Lamar Jackson. I think we got a potential Lamar Jackson situation where he slips on draft day. They was kind of, talking about his IQ, and Orlovsky was kind of, throwing some shade and stuff like that. And something else I heard about it, I think it was like a health thing. Or
epilepsy. Yeah, they say epilepsy.
Yeah, so I think that those things are going to cause him to slip in the draft, and so that's that's who I think is going to wind up slipping, is Justin Fields.
Nate, you throw yourself deeper in that fire.
Listen, Nate, we're not even going to acknowledge you, and talk about your Broncos.
Yeah, we got to ban your comments. You got one more.
Woo. All right, let's move to the next topic. All right, hey,
who did you say? Did you say who you said was dropping, Freddie?
No, I just piggyback off what Chris said about my Giants.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, he always you don't know, but
everybody.
Yeah, he always piggybacks
on
his
job.
Everybody. Yeah.
We need a cut. We need a portion of your check.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, this is gonna be the only show I take it easy on these two. I for y'all. Y'all can see Chris and Kenny. Y'all got to get worked back up, trained to be able to handle somebody.
Freddie, like you're 0-3 in debates. You're 0-3. You lost to both of these guys you see here, and you're lucky Jay's not on here because all three your losses from debates are all the guys on Real Talk. So you saying we got to get ready for you?
Yeah, let's
you have to get ready for us.
You know what, Chris? Now that you brought that up, I need to create a petition. Why in the world have I been going against the true champions of the network? Why have I been going against?
We all went against great competition in the first round. We all succeeded except for you.
Like, the only reason why you went up against me is because I put that pressure on you. You was ducking me.
He was ducking.
He was ducking. That pressure on you, and you tried to come
running from him in a group chat.
You couldn't handle that smoke.
All right, we have more topics. It's not a part of the topic.
That's funny, Ray.
All right, is it time to question the Ravens front office for the moves they made this offseason? Me personally, I think so because we all knew that Lamar needs wide receivers that can run routes, and that instead of just long distance wide receivers, he need wide receivers who can get open on their own, where it can make it easy for him. And they've yet to done that. And if I'm Lamar, there's gonna be a time where there's a contract coming up, and I'm Lamar, like, hey, you don't want to put weapons around me. Hey, I'm not signing this contract, so. There's definitely some question marks around this GM and what his thought process is. Because we see in the NFL, if you don't have a quarterback that does not have weapons, that good of a talent, they're not going to succeed. And they're not. Hey, look at the Kansas City Chiefs. Look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, look at every team. They always have a go-to wide receiver. You're talking about Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. You're talking about Dak and Amari Cooper. You get the point. Every quarterback have a go-to receiver. When is Lamar going to get that go-to receiver?
Yeah.
So I think so. Chris?
For me, it's like I always talk about the receiver, but before I even talk about that, I got to talk about the defensive side. Like they go out and they trade for Yannick Ngakoue, and he leaves. Matthew Judon leaves. Now the pass rush is not the same. That is a big part of their defense. It was that pass rush, getting after the quarterback, and all three of your corners are playing man. You know what the corners are doing, so you need that pass rush. And they lost two of their best outside guys. So for me, they definitely have to address something in the draft or try to trade for something, because now I'm looking at the defense with question marks. So when we talk about the receiver, I mean, Willie Snead's gone, but I don't think he'll be missed. They brought in Sammy Watkins. He just has to stay healthy. Sammy Watkins is a guy that can be a dynamic route runner. I think he definitely is a better receiver than Willie Snead, but I'm starting to look at coaching right now. I'm definitely looking at coaching and saying when you're going to open up the playbook, because everybody's saying Lamar can't throw, but who's he throwing to? You talk about he needs a guy to throw to on the outside. At least give him something. Give him something. Give him something that somebody, I'm tired of just seeing long passes. I'm tired of seeing the same things from the Ravens wide receivers. I saw all the tape of Dez Bryant cooking in practice, but they never let him do it in the game. That's coaching. That has nothing to do with Lamar. That's coaching, not trusting their quarterback. So right now you got the 27th pick and the 31st pick. One of them has to be spent on a wide receiver. If they don't get a wide receiver in the first round, because there are a lot of wide receivers in this draft. This reminds me of the 2014 draft where you got a ton of wide receivers. You better hope you pick the right one. You got 2 picks in the first round. Do not mess up. Do not mess up. Go ahead and get you a bona fide X. Go ahead and get you somebody that can play on the outside and can put in damage. So if I'm looking at the Ravens offseason, I mean, they're about to miss their window. It's them and the Chiefs for the future, but their roster has a lot of guys that's trying to win right now. And they're about to miss their window where they can compete for that second, best team in the AFC that can potentially beat off the Chiefs. So I'm questioning a lot of things with the Ravens. Off-season moves, coaching staff, GM. I'm questioning everything but the players, because the players are doing their job.
All right, Kenny?
Yeah, I agree with both of you. You got to start questioning this front office. Ever since Ozzie Newsome left, they pretty much have been substandard in terms of the talent acquisition and also in terms of the team building. Not only did they do those things, then they trade, you trade your best offensive lineman. So that's another thing you do to not help.
I expected that. Like I said that in March that he was going to go there. It didn't help at all. But it's like if he didn't want to be there, at least you got another first round pick though.
But again, you're not doing things to help your franchise quarterback.
That is true.
And really, you only got that you lucked up to get that franchise quarterback because he slipped to you. So it's not really that you did anything to get this guy. He just fell to you. So I just think that they haven't. They just, like you guys said, they haven't surrounded him with enough talent on the outside. You got a guy like you're hoping for a guy like Dez Bryant. You bring him off the scrap heap pretty much to try to get him to come in and make an impact. That's not going to get it. That's not going to get it done. And Sammy Watkins
ruined it. They ruined Dez Bryant.
And Watkins is a can't get right. Like he'll have a great game and then he'll pull a hamstring the next week. So it's hard to count on Sammy Watkins to be that guy that you're looking for. And really, when your best offensive weapon is your tight end, that says a lot.
You're right about the Sammy Watkins thing, but I'll say this: when that playoff run where they won, even the first year, but especially when they won a Super Bowl, he was to me the best wide receiver, the most consistent guy on that roster. So I feel like if he's healthy, he's there. But the Dez Bryant thing, Dez Bryant still had talent. He still has a lot of potential. They wasted a year of his career. Now teams are looking at him like, why didn't they use you? But if it's the offensive scheme. Like he put out the tape. I seen it in games where he was able to get open. The ball's not going to him. They don't pass it enough. I think if they would have used Dez Bryant, they could have used him in the red zone. They could have used him on third downs, but I don't know what's going on with the offensive coordinator. He just doesn't want to pass the ball.
Hey, we all know. I mean, it's hard, like Chris said. We always want to blame Lamar, but the coach got to open it up for him. Got to let
60 touchdowns, 18 interceptions in 30 games. I'm not blaming Lamar. I'm not blaming Lamar.
Hey, so now a question to both of y'all. June, I believe it's June 1st, something like that, where the Falcons can trade Julio Jones. If I'm the Ravens, are you guys trying to get a Julio Jones to join the Baltimore team? Because he can do a lot of stuff.
They're gonna have to give up one of those corners. They give him one of those corners, they can get him because the Falcons definitely need a veteran corner that can really ball right now. So I think the asking price is going to be one of those corners. I don't know which one. I feel like Humphreys. A lot of people think he's the best. I like Peters. I think one of those guys are definitely going to have to go in some picks, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I do it. I'll be honest. I don't know. Because how much do you want to sacrifice on the defensive end?
Yeah, but if you got a game changer like that and Julio,
I know. To me, I just have to see
what they do. That's a game changer, man.
I have to see what they do in the draft. I think I would do it. I would do it.
A game changer at the 27 or the 31st.
You're right. I would do it. But it's like I don't know if I would overpay. I would overpay. It definitely depends on the price. Yeah. but I would lean more to yes than no.
All right. Hey, that's the NFL part of the show. Let's head to the NBA. Hey, right now I know the playoffs is in like less than a month, but right now for some teams it is the playoffs for them. Trying to hang in there for their playoff tournament and all that good stuff. Trying to get into some teams are trying to get in there. So let's go ahead and go with the NBA playoff prediction. Kenny, give us a prediction for the playoffs.
My prediction for the playoffs is there's going to be an all New York matchup in the second round, the Brooklyn Nets versus the New York Knicks. And New York is going to be on fire. So I think that the Knicks will wind up staying in that 4 seed and the Hawks staying at 5 seed because they're still playing well even without Trae Young. With Trae Young
amazing
recently going, yeah, exactly. But Bogey, that dude is shooting the lights out right now, so he's really carrying them now with Trae Young being out. But my prediction is that we got an all New York second round, Knicks versus the Nets, and New York will be on fire.
That'd be great for the NBA in New York, to be honest with you. That'd be very entertaining.
Hey, Ken, let me ask you this question. I don't know if you heard it, but Stephen A. said it today, and he said it before. He said if the Brooklyn Nets lose in the finals or don't even go to the finals, I forget which one, but the Knicks go to the playoffs and they can lose the first round, people's going to be more talking. The people in New York is going to be like, hey, it's a successful year for the New York Knicks. Hey, we don't care about the Nets. Hey, they could be all on the Knicks. Do you feel the same way?
I think it's at this point, as a Knicks fan, everything is gravy. Like
that's what. Yeah, like that don't make no sense. Them making to the playoffs.
Yeah,
they could have been an 8 seed. They could have been an 8 seed.
No, I had this team being a lottery team for this year. Like I just thought this was a year where they're going to establish the culture. You know, they're going to, you know, of course, we knew they were going to play hard. You knew they were going to be competitive. But, you know, at best, I thought that they would be in that playoff, you know, that play-in tournament range. Mm-hmm. That was the best case scenario. Well, the fact now is this is a double-figure winning streak, and they were winning the last I checked against Phoenix tonight. So that may be why Jay is not on, because he don't hear my mouth. But yeah, just man, at this point, man, anything.
Phoenix ended up winning.
Oh, they did win. Okay.
Yeah, they won by 8.
Anything beyond the playoffs is a win-win for the Knicks. So yeah.
I'm gonna go next because since great thing, I'm gonna choose the Lakers. I'm not. I'm going with the Washington Wizards. I think they will go to the play-in tournament. They'll meet up with the Miami Heat, and I think they can beat the Miami Heat because this year Miami's too up and down. Yes. We don't know which Miami we're going to get. We're going to get this a good team, or we're going to get this. Hey, we can tell. Hey, it's not the same team from the bubble. You know, hey, maybe this might be who they really are. You know. Then we got to say Victor Oladipo really have not become the same Victor Oladipo.
Injured. He's injured.
Yeah.
Which not to do with it. So
honestly, I don't think he'll ever be that guy again with that type of injury.
So, I think the Wizards been rolling like the last 8 of their 9 games. They won that. Russell Westbrook is averaging a triple-double for the year again. He's going to beat Oscar Robertson record. I mean, this dude is just going crazy.
And
they just had a crazy game against the Spurs, 146-143. The Spurs won, but
wow,
like Bill just put up 45, 20 for 37 shooting with no threes.
That's crazy. Yeah, he is lighting up the league right now,
and they're not getting no credit.
Yeah.
Hold on, I got to talk about this. I know this is not a topic, but people get mad. I don't think Steph Curry should be rated a high Bradley Beal. I don't think Steph Curry should be in the top 7 when it comes to MVP. What is he doing different than Bradley Beal? What is he really doing different? They're both putting up numbers on bad teams.
500 team.
On a 500 team or worse. And the Steph Curry team is way better than his Wizards team.
I agree.
You have a whole bunch of lottery picks. You have way more talent. You have a better coach. So it's like, don't sit up here and tell me that Steph Curry is doing all these amazing things where they're just now creeping up to that maybe 8 spot. Don't tell me Steph Curry's having this magical. Because if it was LeBron's being held to a different standard. Kawhi's being held to a different standard. KD's being held to, even Chris Paul is being held to a different standard. Don't give me all these excuses that his team is better than a lot of teams. Like his team, honestly, you could say is better than the Grizzlies. Yeah, the Grizzlies are above him. So don't I'm tired of all these excuses for Steph Curry and why he should be in the MVP, why he's doing this. Him and Bradley Beal having the same season. Why is nobody talking about Bradley Beal?
Chris, I understand what you're saying, and I kind of agree.
Chris Paul took a team that was in the playoffs to the 2nd seed.
Right, but
he should be here, and Steph should be under my foot when it comes to MVP.
The only argument,
there's no argument
about Bradley Beal is that Steph Curry don't have a Russell Westbrook beside him. He does. He don't have a guy.
He got
Andrew Wiggins. What you mean?
And the GOAT defender, Draymond Green.
Yeah.
No. Here's the difference. Right here's the difference. Russell Westbrook is doing what Andrew Wiggins and Draymond Green does combined. He's your second scorer, and he's getting you your rebounds or assists. Like he has Wiggins, Draymond Green. He has Looney. He had Wiseman before he got hurt. He had Poole. He has Tuskegee Anderson. He had Eric Pascal. He had Kelly Oubre. The Wizards have Bradley Beal. They have Westbrook, Ray Homora. Like who? Yeah, like they don't really have nothing.
Like Coach Cam said, that Warrior roster is dumpster juice.
But who's better? No, it's not. It's way better than the Wizards.
It's a lot of first round picks, like Chris said.
A lot of guys getting paid that cheese. A lot of guys that was averaging 18 to 20 points.
Really, honestly, they're only missing Clay.
Exactly. If they had Clay, this team is so great.
So that's your question. So would you rather have Russell Westbrook or Andrew Wiggins?
Oh, come on. That's not a fair question. Come on.
Okay, so after that, look how they compare. It's without a doubt the Warriors. Every single person after that, it's the Warriors. The Warriors wash them at every single position.
Yeah, AAU school I would lose by 80 points, Cam.
Come on, I feel you what you're trying to say, but don't sit up here and say don't sit up and say the Warriors have one of the worst rosters.
Yeah, look, you got
Wizards have one of the worst
one pick.
Come on now, Kelly.
Yeah,
Oubre,
he might be the number one pick, but if he lived up to that expectation,
Kelly Oubre been averaging 17, 18, 19 for the past few years.
And Andrew Wiggins is averaging 18, 19 points a game this season. He ain't no slouch.
Hey, like I said, and then you got to look at like this Steph Curry changing the game. Bradley Beal's not changing the game.
Bradley Beal's putting up the same amount of points. How is he not changing the game?
I think he's averaging more. He was averaging more.
He was averaging more until he got hurt for a few games. What do you mean he's not changing the game? Like he's getting a bucket, right? He's definitely. I see a lot of young guys.
He's not shooting the ball like
that's
Steph.
Style points.
Yeah, but he's scoring like Steph Curry.
At the end of the day,
yeah,
Steph got more style points.
Yeah, he was scoring. There's been many years of Steph. James Harden scoring many points of Steph, but guess what? He's not shooting like Steph.
But they're scoring the same. It don't matter how you get the point. You get the point. You get the point. Dunk, layup, 3-pointer.
A three at the 3-point line or 10 feet behind the 3-point line. You get the same amount of points.
Y'all need to start disrespecting Mr. Chef Curry.
I'm not disrespecting him, but
up, no question.
If there was a top 60, maybe, but he has too much talent. Like if this was LeBron, you think they would let LeBron get away with it? Oh well, Anthony. Oh well, Anthony did. Come on now. If this was Chris Paul, look what Chris Paul did with that Thunder team.
The bottom line is they are underachieving.
Underachieving, and he's getting a pass because one, he's Steph Curry, and they let him do whatever he wants.
Hold on, no. They're in the West, the loaded West.
They're underachieving.
That's a 500 team.
So you mean to tell me the Spurs are supposed to be better than them?
The Blazers that much better than them?
The Grizzlies,
yes, the Blazers.
No, the Blazers are. Hold on, I'm gonna talk about that when I talk about my playoff thing. But the Grizzlies and the Spurs, were they really supposed to be about the Warriors? Okay,
got a baby team.
Well,
that's a lot. That's a lot.
Spurs have all guys that's 22 through 24, except for DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah.
Come on, I'm not trying to hear that.
We'll talk about that another day, man. We can talk about Steph Curry and
there's no need for discussion. Steph Curry shouldn't be in the top 5 MVP vote.
It is what it is.
He's not doing nothing special. His team's still a bottom play-in tournament team. What's the difference between him and Bradley?
He's not doing this, Chris. You cannot sit there and say that with a straight face. This man is not doing.
He is not doing anything special. If Bradley Beal's doing the same thing as him, yet nobody wants to talk about it. He's putting up 40-some. He's putting up 50-some. He's putting up all these great numbers, just like Steph Curry. But nobody's talking about him. Why? Because it's Steph Curry. How really good? How great is Steph Curry? Because he's this great player. His team.
How great is Steph Curry?
If he was that great, why is his team a 9th seed?
Because. Man,
am I saying something wrong here?
Hey,
you can't judge individual talent off of team success, Chris.
I mean, I'm holding him to the same standard they're holding everybody else that they count as a top 5 superstar.
But I thought, as a great player, great players are supposed to elevate
your team. I don't understand why, sir. They don't. I know we going on.
That's what we say about LeBron, don't we?
Exactly. They hold certain players to certain standards, but other players get a pass. I never understand why Steph Curry.
Okay, so we can use the same thing against Bradley Beal. He been putting up these crazy numbers for how long, and why can't they win?
Compare the teams, Freddie.
He have Russell Wilson, who's averaging.
He has Russell Westbrook. Name somebody else.
David Bertans
injured.
Hey.
The Warriors got number 1 pick. They got lottery pick. They got all-star. What are we talking about here? I feel what you're saying, but what are we talking about? The rosters don't compare.
No, it's a lot deeper roster in Golden State.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying he has the greatest roster.
Hey, Steph. Hey, okay. Steph with a deeper roster still putting up those numbers.
So when Chris Paul took a team that had 0.002 chance to make to the playoffs, they had a terrible roster, just like this weird.
That don't make him the MVP, Chris.
That makes him a more valuable player in my eyes than Steph Curry. Steph Curry needs all these superstars for him to be.
I agree.
Here's the ending to the argument. Look at Phoenix's roster and look at Golden State's roster.
Please tell me a difference. Please tell me a difference. It is not that big of a difference.
You don't think it's a difference? So who's Devin Booker on the Warriors?
Who's Devin Booker on the Warriors?
Exactly.
Who's Devin Booker on the Warriors? Shucks, Andrew Wiggins is averaging 19, 20.
Oh man,
not even.
It's not that far. It's not that much.
Chris Paul is really Draymond and Andrew Wiggins. I'm the second scorer, the main playmaker. Devin Booker and Steph Curry are the main scorers. Then compare everybody else. It's not that much of a difference.
Exactly.
It's really not that much of a difference. But
they got a bunch of young guys too.
Exactly.
Bridges.
Cameron Johnson,
DeAndre Ayton.
And he's young guy.
Ayton is in his third year. He's in his third year.
But you talk about this same players from the Warriors. Stop it.
And you have Wiseman, who's the number 2 pick.
But guess what? But Wiseman look good like Ayton this year.
He's in the. What are you talking about? It's not that much. He's averaging. He's been in the league 3 years.
Double digits.
First year.
It don't matter.
He was averaging 11 and 8 or something like that. It ain't like it's no.
Huge drop off. Ayton is not averaging 24 and 13.
Yeah. It's not that much of a difference in the talent level on those 2 rosters. Is the point?
See, we were so right that he froze. So what I'm gonna do is take him off the screen for a little bit until he gets himself situated. And I'm going to talk about my playoff hot take. I got 2.
Right.
One, the Blazers are not going to make the playoffs. It pains me to say this because I had this team as a second seed in the NBA before the season started. When I did my preseason predictions, they were a second seed for me. When I look at them now, they're 10 out of their last 12 games are against playoff teams, and they're 12 and 22 against team above 500. They traded for Norman Powell. That was a waste. They didn't get any better. They have no depth shooting or scoring coming off the bench. It's a lot of question marks with this team, and I feel like they're going to fall to that play-in tournament. And right now, the Grizzlies and the Warriors are looking better than them. So right now I'm questioning the Blazers. I think they can do it, but right now they're a little too inconsistent. And also, we might see a Lakers and Clippers first round matchup. Right now, the Lakers are the number 5 seed, and the Clippers are the number 3 seed. I don't see the Clippers dropping to 4. I think they're going to be 3-2-2. They could stick it out at 3. The way the Lakers are looking right now, depending on when LeBron come back, the Lakers could end up that that number 6 seed. And if they end up that number 6 seed, we're seeing Lakers and Clippers first round. In my opinion, we see Lakers. That's tough. That's tough. That's tough. But yeah, those are my 2 playoff takes.
Well,
Freddie, we're ready to move on. Go ahead.
So you don't think that Norman Powell was going to give them a scoring punch off the bench?
Norman Powell starting. Norman Powell starting. They moved Derrick Jones Jr. to the bench.
Well, yeah, I guess they're running that 3-guard lineup.
Which is terrible because like when you go against the Nuggets, you got MPJ who's 6'10", you got Aaron Gordon who's 6'10", you got Will Barton who's like 6'6", 6'7". You go against the Clippers, you look at all the size they got there. The Lakers, the size they got there. So it's like I don't understand why they went out and did this 3-guard lineup because now 3 of your top 5 players are 6'4". You're going to have a liability problem.
I think that's going to be the adjustment is they bring Powell off the bench.
And then after that, I think
scoring punch.
That was no point for me, in my opinion, doing that. I think he's a better player and scorer right now than Gary Trent. But you're losing Gary Trent and Rodney Hood, who, if you add up their points, it could be the same thing as Norman Powell. And you got more players, more scoring, more shooting, more depth. I feel what you're saying. Norman Powell's a better player, but I would have went after Aaron Gordon. I think that would have took him over the top.
I can see your point there. I just think that's probably going to be the adjustment because Terry Stotts is a good coach.
He's a terrible coach.
He's a good coach because the fact of the matter is that the fact they took that team to the Western Conference.
He's the Scotty Brooks of the West. I'm going to rely on my 2-star players.
That team is because Nurkic can't. He's always out of the lineup.
You're right.
You got pretty much they're pretty much living and dying with Dame and CJ.
I'm going to rely on my 2-star players.
And again, that's hard. Like
it's very hard.
Guards.
But shout out to Dame and CJ.
You're trying to win with 2 guards, and that's not an easy thing to do. So I'm not going to say that Terry Stotts is a bad coach, but I just think that they're going to make an adjustment and move him to the bench. So he could bring that scoring punch from Melo coming off the bench. They make that adjustment and bring Derrick Jones back in for energy.
They need slashing because with those 3 guys, who's attacking the paint? Those all 3 perimeter primarily perimeter guys.
I just think that mix is a bad mix. So that's
terrible.
They make that adjustment.
They 2-8 in their last 10.
Yeah. All right.
Wait, Freddie, but you missed it. I said my other one was that we might see a Lakers and Clippers first round matchup if the Lakers fall to that number 6 spot.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so. I'm ready for it too. Woo! I'm ready for it.
So let me ask you, are you guaranteed? So let me here's a hot take opportunity for you, Freddie. If the Lakers and the Clippers meet in the first round of the playoffs, are you willing to guarantee that the Lakers will win that series?
If LeBron James is 100% healthy, yes, I am. But it's going to be in a 7 game. I think it's going to go 7 games with AD, LeBron still trying to get into their rhythm, whatever. But yeah, I mean, hey.
I think right now, I know the Lakers are the Lakers, and they're the favorite as long as LeBron's 100% healthy, and AD has to bounce back out of this funk that he's in. But as long as LeBron's 100% healthy, they're going to be hard to beat. But right now, honestly, if they stay at number 5, they got Nuggets first round. Then you're going to have the Jazz. I think number 5 is number 4 or 5 is where they need to stay. That's the easy pass. Easy.
Yeah, I think they're trying to be that number 5 seed.
5 or 4, don't one of those because if they go.
I think number 4 is too. I think number 4 is gonna be a little bit too hard for them to get. I think 5 is like gonna be their safe bet, honestly. All right, NBA hot take. I'll start with it, ladies and gentlemen. King Kong is on the way. We just got done talking about him. Y'all seen him this morning. Just get a little jog.
Exactly. That was 50%.
Did you just call that man King Kong, bro?
King Kong. Hey, the king is coming. Hey.
Go ahead, Freddie.
Hey, this dude about to come take Godzilla.
No, you got it. Your hot take's done. Kenny,
hey, he come and take Godzilla with everybody else down.
You got it. Go ahead, Kenny.
Now you've been gone for quite some time.
All you talk like
you're still coming back.
All you talk about is the Lakers.
Take.
Like you might as well start the show and say Lakers.
You had enough time to come up with some new material.
It's the same with you, man. It's getting kind of boring. It's getting boring.
Because your team is hurt. Don't come attack me.
My team is rolling, my man.
What you mean? His team was on a 9-game winning streak.
Straight. We just one
of his teams. I'm talking about his other team, Brooklyn.
He has one team.
No, he don't. If he go, no, he don't, Chris. No, don't you ever lie for this dude. This dude been talking about the Brooklyn Nets all year long.
He been talking about the Nets, 1, because that's his job, and 2, because he has family ties there. That's not that he already came out. That means a lot. You're allowed to.
You don't never hear me calling. You don't hear me talk about no us and no we like you do with the Packers.
Exactly. And every time they went against each other, he said, I'm rooting for the Knicks. And he said if they go against each other in the playoffs, he's rooting for the Knicks. So, where's the bandwagon here?
Let the record be clear.
Because when the Giants and the Packers went against each other, you had 2 jerseys in your hand. Say, whoever wins, I'm putting that on. Rolling. So I'm not trying to hear that, Freddie.
Thank you.
Chris, give us a hot take, man.
We did ours. We did our hot takes. Last one. Yeah.
All right. So Jeannie Buss is on All the Smoke, and she gave her most important Lakers of all time. I'm gonna try to remember the list. It was Kobe, Kareem, Phil Jackson,
Magic,
LeBron, and Magic.
Yep.
Hey, there's a lot of names that's left off that list.
Yep.
You missed Shaq,
Jerry West,
Wilt Chamberlain, Elgin Baylor. I mean, there's a lot of greats that's still not on that list. And you can probably still keep going on and on. But was it a disrespect that Shaq was not on that list?
Bring it to me. Come on, bring it to me. Listen, first of all, who's getting disrespected when you got all great players and great guys for that organization on that list? You look at Phil Jackson. He helped save that team. Because Shaq, with Shaq, was going on, Shaq and Kobe, they didn't start winning until Phil came. They was about to break up that team if Phil didn't come there. 4 straight years, 4 straight times getting swept when it mattered in the playoffs. Like you talking about is disrespectful to Shaq. I understand how dominant and great Shaq was. He's the reason why they won 3 of those championships. But, Kobe had to get in his prime for him to win. Phil Jackson had to come over there for him to win. I'm not taking nothing away from him, but there was a lot of factors that played into that. He was dominant when they won those 3 championships, the best player on the team. But I don't think it's disrespectful because you can't leave out Phil and what he did. He won 5 there as a coach. You can't take out Magic Johnson. You know what he did. You know, in a decade. Same thing with Kareem. You know, I know, same thing with Cole. People look at
LeBron. He got one championship.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. I feel you on that, but let me tell you why I think people need to take a step back. LeBron saved this league, and Freddie gets mad at me for saying this, but
I sure did. I don't believe that. Boy.
LeBron saved this team from another 5-6 years of misery. They had a whole bunch of young guys in no direction. A whole bunch of young guys, a terrible coach, and no direction. It was going to continue to be a lottery team. They was going to fight to get in the A spot. They're going to be, how does Sacramento Kings look right now? That was the future of the Lakers until some superstar came there and saved it. And that's what LeBron did. He took a team that had no business being in the playoffs to the 4th spot until he got injured. That team had no business being there with all those young guys. Then he comes in, he gets AD after Magic goes and leaves. He helps bring in AD, and they win a championship his first full healthy season. I feel what you're saying. Shaq definitely deserves to be on that. For me, it's Jerry West. And forget about Shaq. Jerry West deserves to be on that list before Shaq. The logo. Logo deserves to be before Shaq. But don't act like LeBron didn't say. Don't act like LeBron in his first full healthy season didn't take this team and win the championship. Don't act like LeBron.
5 just for one championship.
You're right. You're right on that. I'm just saying.
No, you're wrong.
LeBron didn't save this team from misery.
He saved them, but that don't give him.
No. I agree with you on that. I'm just saying there's an argument to be made on the importance for him. He came and saved his Lakers franchise from misery.
Chris, you act like LeBron James. He can't be the player. He can't be the coach. He can't be the GM.
Okay, but as a player, he came in and did something. How this team was struggling to win.
Rob Pelinka, Magic Johnson, Jeannie Buss didn't do nothing. That's what you're saying.
I'm saying as a player on the court when it matters, he took over and he helped take that team to a 4th spot. While those young players that couldn't even win 4 games in a row. Am I right or wrong? As a player, he didn't come in and make an immediate impact. As a player,
yes, as a player, he came and played basketball.
Okay, Kobe was on that list as a player. Magic was on the list as a player. Who else? All those guys on there as a player. Kareem. So like I'm a Jackson. But like what are we talking about? As a player, he came in and had an impact. Right or wrong?
LeBron is not an all-time great Laker. Right?
He is not. He's not.
And he's not on that top 5 list. Not right now.
I said that. But I'm saying we're not going to sit up here and act like LeBron meaningful. You know what he did for this franchise in his first year.
Mention. That's the best.
That's what I'm trying to say. But I see people disrespecting what he did for the Lakers, like he didn't save him.
That's my argument. Worthy on that list before him.
And I agree with you. I agree with all that. I'm just saying I'm tired of people, acting like so surprised.
I understand what you're saying. He came in and changed the culture.
He changed that immediately in 2 years when they was going to go down another 5-6 years.
That's why I disagree. Like he came.
You had Luke Walton and a whole bunch of young guys. What the Kings are doing right now was going to be the Lakers. Like, what are you not getting through your head?
Yeah, we got to get to this 5 list though. We got to talk about the disrespect on Shaq. Like that's disrespectful. Like this man, they went 3. That 3-peat. He was the 3-time Finals MVP.
Finals MVP. He was the best player on the team.
The NBA MVP. Like you can't have. Like I understand. Phil Jackson is your boo, and I get it. But, you know what I'm saying? So you got to put him on the list. But come on, man, that's disrespectful to Shaq, man.
What you say? That's a boo.
Yeah, that's your boo. He left you at the altar, whatever the case. Maybe you still got love in your heart for him. You're trying to hope that maybe he'll put a ring on it.
Are you putting Shaq above Jerry for this list? I'm just asking. Okay,
I'm taking Phil Jackson off and putting Jerry.
Okay. So now we all thinking alike.
Because as a player and as an architect of that team, he
changed a lot. He brought in Kobe. He brought in Shaq.
That's right. So I'm as with a player, all-time great as a player, all-time great as an executive. So he's on that list. And for Shaq not to be on that list, that's disrespectful. I'm sorry. There's no way that you put LeBron on that list for one championship.
Let me ask you a question. So she put Phil Jackson in there, okay? Now, does Pat Riley need to deserve some love to be in that list as well?
You got to put Phil over Pat Riley, though.
You do.
He really, in terms of the championships, he had 2 runs. Mm-hmm. Pat just had the one Showtime run, but he had 2 runs with the Shaq and Kobe, and then with Kobe and Powell. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you got to put him over.
All right, I was just trying to see what you guys' thoughts on that.
Wait, before all I'm saying, I'm gonna repeat it.
Be clear, because
Shaq should be on the list. I think Jerry West should be on the list, but I don't think
who's coming off.
I don't think you can take off Phil and LeBron. That's fine.
Okay.
I just don't think they should be slandered. And no, like people are like I see a lot. I'm not saying y'all, but I see a lot of people on social media just acting like they had no impact to the Lakers. I understand that Shaq and Jerry West should be on there, especially for me. But I just got to put some respect on those two guys' name because they had a huge impact to the Lakers organization.
No doubt.
Yes, sir. All right. So, will the Brooklyn Nets fans ever take over the New York Knicks?
No,
City?
no. Kenny, I'm sorry. I'm gonna be real quick. No, and for the simple fact that we said earlier, if the Knicks would have been trash this year and the Nets would have won the championship, you might have saw a little needle moving. In my opinion, if the Knicks didn't make the playoffs, they were a lottery team, and the Nets are winning championships this year, you're going to see a needle moving. But the fact that the Nets are doing their thing, but the Knicks are the fourth spot with a questionable roster, then now it's like I see it. Not even just a whole bunch of New York fans, not even just Kenny saying, "Oh, we got something, we're building something." The juice is back. We haven't been as good in over 6-7 years. That I wanted to talk about the Knicks. So I don't think just because of the season the needle's not moving. If anything, more Knicks fans are coming back home.
I don't think so, Chris.
It's a fact. It's a fact.
I don't think the Brooklyn Nets fans will ever take over New York City for one reason.
I was saying that.
Right. No, I'm saying even if the Nets would have won and the Knicks was bad, it's just like the Lakers and the Clippers. No matter how bad the Lakers are going to be, the Clippers will never take over LA. The Knicks franchise, what they've done in New York and their fans there, I mean, they're nobody's taking over that city. I mean, the Knicks have that on lockdown. I mean, nothing to worry about.
You're right. But the Lakers winning is up here. The Knicks winning is like right here. But we're not going to get into that though.
Yeah, but it's the same thing. Like
it is though. It is
always going to be. It's always going to because look, I'll put it like this: if Jay-Z couldn't get the fans to be able to
nobody
flip from it exactly, and he's the king of New York when it comes to anything entertainment. You know what I'm saying? So if he couldn't do it as a owner, as a part owner of the Nets, then it's not happening. It's always going to be a Knicks town. Madison Square Garden is always going to be the Mecca. So it's and the Nets I'm sure in the next 2 to 3 years they're going to win a couple of championships. But the Knicks are building something, and like you said, you hear fans coming out the woodwork on social media. Everybody, the buzz is serious in terms of the Knicks momentum and that they're building. And if this offseason goes well, and they're able to take these 2 first-round picks that they have, and the cap space that they have, and if they get a marquee free agent, look out. So
there's a report that they're inside the organization. They're really interested in Lonzo Ball.
To be honest,
I would stay with D Rose. Honestly,
I would look at Kawhi if the Clippers don't.
Yeah, that's who I want.
If the Clippers don't win, I think Kawhi's coming out east to either Philly or the Knicks.
That's who I want.
I just want to say if to me this reminds me of when the Nets went out and got that crazy starting 5 with D Will, and they got Joe Johnson, Paul Pierce, KG. Obviously these guys now are in their prime, but that they had this short window. For me, when I look at the Nets right now, those guys are all going to be up for free agency in the next 2 years. Are they really going to stay if their goals aren't fulfilled? And even if they do fulfill their goals, will they want to go to another challenge? Like KD did when he fulfilled his goals with the Warriors and moved on. Kyrie won a championship, and we talk about what that happened, but, he moved on. James Harden, everything, fizzled out in Houston, he moved on. So who's to say all 3 of these guys re-sign? And when they don't, and if they don't re-sign, this team has no draft picks. Not nobody's going to sign to a terrible team, terrible organization. Again, they're going to go down the same road, and now the Knicks now have a future. So for me, I don't think it's going to change ever.
Yeah. Well, I would be surprised if those 2 guys, because Kyrie is home.
I think Kyrie stays.
I don't see him leaving. And KD, he has the business situation going on. His manager, Rich Kleiman, is there in New York as well. So, between the stuff he's doing with the 35 inches, I think he's gonna. If anything, the only place he would go besides New York is LA, and we know he's not going to the Lakers.
I think he would go back home to Washington.
Maybe
they got to get that franchise turned around, man.
You're right, but I'm saying you're right.
Maybe.
You're right, but
that's a possibility.
But the point I'm saying, I definitely see Kyrie staying out of anybody. James Harden, I don't know, and Kevin Durant, I'm more to staying than leaving, but I'm not 100% confident. Kyrie is the only one I'm 100% confident that he'd stay.
All right. Speaking of Kyrie Irving, ladies and gentlemen, have been balling. No matter what you want to say, when the on court, this dude has been phenomenal. He's been a show within a show.
Right.
He's been putting on the show in Brooklyn. Hey, I mean, you turn your TV on just to see Kyrie Irving play. I mean, let's just face it. I mean, hey, the crossovers and all that stuff. People call him the Allen Iverson 2.0. I mean, yeah, the dude have handles. But is it time that we need to put him in the MVP conversation? We're gonna put Mr. Brooklyn.
Stop it.
We're gonna put Kenny Folk on the spot. Hey, Kenny, is it time
on the spot? This is easy, of course. Like not only is this guy putting up 30s, everybody's talking about Steph and his 30-point games. Kyrie's doing the same thing and dropping 10, 11 assists a night. So I think James Harden has been a really great, let me see what's the word I'm looking for, model to a degree, because he's shown him the balance of, I think he's kind of shown him the balance of scoring and passing the ball. Because sometimes Kai gets into a scorer mode and doesn't involve his teammates as much. But I think now he's found that balance of when to go and when to get his guys going. And now this guy is putting up 30 and 10. And that's, that's unheard of. Those are special numbers. That's rare air. And the fact that they're still battling for that number one seed with KD being in and out, with Harden being out. I think it's time to put Kyrie Irving in that MVP conversation.
No, sir, not at all. Even though he's a bad brother. No, he's not over Steph Curry. He's not over the Joker.
What are you talking about? The 500 record Steph Curry?
He's not
even.
I don't
know why you keep talking about him.
He's not even over Julius Randle this year. I mean, Julius.
I give you that. I can give you that, but not Steph Curry.
So no, Kyrie Irving's not an MVP conversation, but he is balling this year. And at one point in time, I had Damian Lillard above him, but he just dropped a little bit.
Exactly. So that's even more of a reason why Kyrie should be in the conversation.
So. Oh, and you can't forget what Joel Embiid have done post.
Yeah, Joel, Joker, the usual suspects. Those guys.
He's not on the list. All right, Chris.
Can't believe you just said he shouldn't be over Steph Curry. I'm tired of
people. I'm
tired of people acting like Steph Curry
is of all time. The greatest
Luda in a riot.
You can be a great shooter of all time. That don't mean anything to me. Like, how are you impacting your team? Are you doing anything impactful?
Is he not doing anything
impactful? You're in the playing tournament.
Exactly.
You're Kyrie Irving's on the team with James Harden, Kevin Durant, Blake Griffin.
You're right.
In and out of the lineup.
But that does not mean that just because he's got those guys on that team
and they're not playing.
Because at the end of the day, because I had James Harden second at one time and then first
Chris,
at one time.
You cannot use this. No, not
this
you.
Is my list.
Out of all
this
people,
is my list.
No,
I had James. This is my list, and all year I've been saying James Harden was flirting between 1 through 3 in my MVP rankings. Now that he's hurt, because the beginning of the year it was KD. KD goes down. James Harden comes. James Harden carries the team. Now James Harden out. Kyrie comes. All those three been taking away votes from each other and flip flopping on who's going to be in it this week. Okay, first it was KD. How can I not use argument for my argument?
The same person that said last year.
What did I say?
Quote, the reason why LeBron's not going to get MVP
is because I had LeBron as my MVP, so I know you lying.
No,
I know you lying.
You said the reason why they're not going to give it to him because
I know you're lying. That's a lie. That is a lie because I had LeBron as my MVP. This is a lie.
You did say that.
Freddie, this is a lie. This is a lie because I had him as my MVP. I don't understand why you're lying. It's out there for the public to listen to all my things that I ever said about the MVP last year. It was definitely not Giannis. So I never ever picked
LeBron. But what you listen, well, this is what you said. You said the reason why they're not going to give it to him is because they're going to say if Anthony Davis is
that is a lie because the only argument I said had nothing to do with Anthony Davis. It had everything to do with they were trying to make Giannis the next face. So why are you lying, trying to put words in my mouth? How are you going to tell me what I said when all my stuff is documented? Don't do that.
No,
now,
back to the video.
Okay, and when I post all the things I put on my podcast and me saying why LeBron should win and why he shouldn't, let's see who really lying. Don't put words in my mouth, Mr. I'm not even gonna call you. I'm not even gonna call you his name. I'm just call you Mr. Delusional. Now back to my argument about Kyrie Irving. Do I think he should be top 3 in the MVP conversation? I don't know. I think he's a little outside that, but I do think his name should start getting mentioned. Yeah, because what I said earlier, beginning of the year, KD was really helped carrying his team. KD and Kyrie in and out the lineup. Who's carrying? James Harden. Now you have James Harden and KD in and out the lineup. Who's doing their thing? Kyrie Irving. We're not, and I want all the media to apologize on Kyrie Irving because this dude is having the best year of his career this season. Really close to putting up 50, 40, 90 with over 27.6 rebounds and 6 assists, but nobody wants to talk about it. Everybody wants to talk about it.
It's not hard, Chris. It's not hard.
It's not hard.
It's not hard to put up 27,
50, 40, 90.
So
done that.
When you have great players,
I'm not. First of all, I'm not done talking because everybody's saying because I'm tired of this. Because everybody's saying now that when you have great players on your team, you can do this, you can do that. But these were all the same guys that were saying this team won't work when they traded for James Harden. So I'm really not trying to hear that nonsense. I'm not trying to hear that the same guys that they say him and KD won't work. I'm not trying to hear that nonsense now because it's working. Now because it's working. I did a whole bunch of people. A whole bunch of people.
ESPN, that I went back and forth with on Twitter.
I can name one that same thing. I went back and forth with on YouTube. So it's like I'm not going to sit up here and now let these people say he has these great players on his team. He should do this when everybody said it won't work. They said, Steve Nash, they should be the first seed. But when they traded for James Harden, they were up under my comments and mentions saying it won't work. But now you're flip-flopping and telling a different story. I'm not going to let that slide in front of my face. They told me Kyrie Irving is not the same. They told me Kyrie Irving is not going to be. They told me he's going to be a third fiddle. 27, 50, 40, 90, third fiddle.
What I'm saying, Chris, when he's around great players, it make it easier.
But I'm not trying to hear that
for the whole
because they only together. Exactly, I was just about to say that together they only played 7 games.
He played most of the games with James Harden, heavy not.
He played the first 15 to 20 games with KD.
So it makes it easier when you have one other guy on the side of you.
But they're both been out in this last run. In this last run, they both been out of the lineup.
Exactly.
So that's what makes it even more so the fact that
Golden State. When he's on Golden State, people say, he's just an all-time great defender. No, guess what? The other ones make it easy for him where he can relax on certain things.
They haven't.
How did he relax if he was being a shot blocker? How are you relaxing when you're protecting a rim? I'm confused.
He don't have to put so much effort on the offensive end because it's easy. It's so effortless. He don't have to do much. They don't say that about him now.
You're saying it's easy, but those guys have not been in a lineup over this run.
They played 7 games together. They only played out of a 72-game season. Out of the 61 games they played this year, I believe, they only played 7 games together. So you're telling me that they're supposed to do this, that, when you have great players around you, he has one other great player. Look at all the other people in the MVP conversation. Don't tell me they don't have one other all-star next to him because they all do. So I'm not trying to hear that.
Except for Joker.
Except for Joker. He had Murray.
Except for Steph Curry, too.
Steph Curry is not in the MVP conversation. And Draymond Green's an all-star that put up the most points in that game 7 and saved Steph Curry, almost saved Steph Curry from an embarrassment. What are we talking about here?
He's the greatest defender of all time, in his opinion.
I'm tired of this. They keep telling me, now they're supposed to do this, but y'all were telling me it's not supposed to work. They were saying Kyrie Irving's going to be left out. They were saying Kyrie Irving's going to be a problem. They were saying he was going to cause the attitude problem. They were saying he was going to mess up the locker room. Where's all this talk now? He's putting up 27 and almost 50, 40, 90. I'm not trying to hear no Kyrie Irving disrespect on the floor or off the floor. On the floor, you can't tell me 6-point guard. What happened?
He accepted James Harden being their point guard.
And he's playing even better.
Even more.
And he's playing even better.
More to him being
and he's still getting double-digit assists. So what are we talking about?
Speaks even more to him being a team player. Now that Harden is out,
you said some crazy things about the Nets
to being a point guard and getting double figures.
What I said about Brooklyn Nets,
you said a lot, but go ahead. Let me hear what you think.
I said this team will not be able to work because you have too many guys that need the ball in their hand.
And how did it work?
And when they play together, it always works. When they play together, it always works.
When they play together.
So we'll see in the playoffs when this team start to crumble, because when the pressure rises, they can let go. They can say, who wants the ball?
The crazy thing is, right, with the Warriors at work, who want the ball? You got Steph, you got Clay, you got KD, right? Nobody argued about that. But now
because Klay Thompson was not ball dominant. Oh, you only two.
So when you needed a three,
guys you talk about now averaging double figures.
Exactly.
James Harden and Kyrie.
When you needed a three, right? When you needed a three, they all said, "Oh, I want it," because they're all great time shooters. Let me tell you something. Hold on. I'm talking. When playoff basketball comes, everything slows down. This team has 3 of the top 7 best one-on-one ISO scorers in the game. How is that not going to work in the playoffs? They can have 2 guys having an off night and somebody could put up 40 and win. How is that not going to work in the playoffs? They're all going to be getting better shots because if KD's going off, they're going to try to double team him. Kyrie Irving, James Harden get a wide open threes. This team is established, and this team is assembled to win.
The only thing that's going to stop them is
you keep talking about defense when they just put the Suns on locks. They put the Suns on locks
without Harden.
Without Harden.
What are they going to do when they play against the Philadelphia 76ers?
Let me talk. Hold on. Against dominant centers, they struggle. But I've been saying this all year. The Sixers go 5-6, and it's on my Twitter. Go on my Twitter. They go 5-6 minutes without scoring a basket.
Right.
So if Embiid's not scoring, who is scoring? If Harden's not scoring, you got KD. KD's not scoring, you still got Kyrie. I don't understand.
About defense.
And this is coming from a Sixers fan.
Right.
They're not going to be able to touch Embiid. Embiid can put up 40 and 20. But I don't know what everybody else is going to do.
Exactly.
But who else is going to score?
And who is Steph Curry?
Tobias Harris not consistent.
Who is Steph Curry going to guard?
But Tobias Harris is scoring 20 while James Harden and Kyrie Irving is scoring 27. That's the difference.
No, his numbers going to go up in the playoffs.
And you know what happens with Simmons numbers in the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying.
Because he'll be playing more minutes.
No. They go down. His numbers go down because the game slows down because
there's too many question marks with my Sixers. The Nets
and the Simmons struggles in the half court. If you're going up and down, then Simmons is going to be good. When the game slows down and you got to hit a jump shot, then that's when Simmons starts to struggle.
What about the Bucks? Who on that team can stop the Greek Freak if he starts going off?
Who's stopping KD?
Right, they're gonna
because Giannis ran from him when they played in the beginning of the year. Giannis didn't guard him at the end of the game. He put Chris Middleton on him.
You know what? If I'm Coach Bud, I'm saying, you know what, Chris, don't worry about the shooting this round. I want you to play.
But you can't do that. You can't do that because you got to score in order to beat the Nets.
I'm saying
because without LaMarcus Aldridge,
LaMarcus don't play defense.
And Blake Griffin is stepping up.
Blake
16 overnight.
It comes
he's still
double digits off the bench. Double digits off the bench isn't good.
Joe Harris is.
How long is he going to be healthy? How long is Blake going to stay healthy?
When you're not playing a lot of minutes, you have a better time of staying healthy. I'm really confused on your.
They got a lot of guys that.
That's why we call you Mr. Delusional.
Like the Joe Harrises, the TLC,
Landry
Shamet. They got guys that can
Tyler Johnson, who I was a big fan of in Miami, and in his role when he has a smaller
Bruce
condensed
Brown
role,
is having a good year. Even
all guys that I named in the beginning of the year.
All those guys not going to see the court in the playoffs.
Yeah, first of all, Freddie,
Harris is starting.
If you know anything about playoffs, your bench wins you 1 or 2 games.
You got to have role players step up.
That's a fact. The Lakers bench won them 1 or 2 games every single series. Right. That's the fact. Against the Rockets. No. I'm talking about last year against the Rockets. They're not winning without Caruso. And they're not winning without Markieff for them to able to go small.
There was times where certain players didn't play in the play because coaches do not play a full.
But a couple of those guys off the bench have big impacts every single series.
Yeah, of course.
Rondo, Keith, Caruso, all those guys had a major impact. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, because, and they won them 1 or 2 games a series. So what are you talking about?
You try to take away the best guys and what they do best. So you try to take that away. And that leads to open looks for other guys. That's why Milwaukee has struggled in the playoffs because those other guys, the Lopez's of the world, the Eric Bledsoes of the world, hit open shots.
Drew Holiday is way
James
better.
Harden. But they're not ready for Drew Holiday. I'm just let you.
I said this about
Let's
Drew.
Move on, man.
No, real quick. Drew is my boy. I feel like Drew's going to guard KD before Giannis guard KD. Giannis is a fake defensive player of the year. However, I mean that with all my heart. However, I would love you talking about 3 guys that are 2-way players on the Bucks, and Drew, Chris Middleton, and Giannis. I really want to see that Kyrie Irving and Drew Holiday matchup. I want to see that. I want to see that.
And just know that whenever it is anybody that tries to step up to the challenge, Kyrie goes.
Kyrie does it.
Kyrie does it. No, we don't. I'm not letting you say that.
In the finals,
a few weeks ago, when Dennis Schroeder called him, hey,
Kyrie, that has nothing to do with basketball. That has nothing to do with the game of basketball.
He got in his head. What you think?
And he still put up 21 and 19 points. What do you think Drew Holiday gonna do? He put up. Drew Holiday don't talk trash. Drew Holiday is the most person on the court. Yeah, what are you talking about? Like,
his defense gonna get under.
This is why we call you Mr. Delusional. This is why we call you Mr. Delusional.
No, it's not.
Klay Thompson defense didn't get under his skin when he put up 41 on him.
Thank you.
Drew is different. Drew is different. Drew gonna be
How is he different? Klay Thompson is a bigger defender.
Klay Thompson is 6'8", can move just as fast and is just as good on defense.
Over Drew Holiday whenever he wants
to. We're not gonna act like
I'm talking about defense. I'm not talking offense.
We're talking about defense.
We're
not gonna act like Klay Thompson's not all team this is why we call you Mr. Delusional. I'm done, Freddie. This is why I don't take nothing. I don't take nothing you say serious because the conversation we having right now.
Yeah, this what makes us miss. This what makes you not
unmissable.
Yeah,
you don't listen. You're Jason Whitlock. You're Jason Whitlock.
Oh, please.
You're Jason Whitlock.
Who are you?
Better than that. Whoever you, I'm myself. I myself. You act like Jason Whitlock.
Nah.
Kenny, am I wrong?
Hot take, piggyback, flip flop. You got three names.
Okay. Let's move to the last topic. Let's do a rank 'em. You guys know how we do it here on the Real Talk. We have Tracy McGrady, Grant Hill, and Anthony Hardaway. Kenny, who you going with?
Tough one.
Man, I've been thinking about this since we even broached this one. Like, this is such a toss-up for me. Well, here I'm going number one is I'm going one Anthony Hardaway. I'm a point guard guy. I love point guards. And the fact that he was the closest thing to Magic Johnson.
Or we'll ever see.
Yeah, so like that. So I'm going to put him number one. And, he played on and off the ball. He could post up. He had handles. He could shoot, pass. He did everything. And then number two, this is really hard, man. It's a toss-up.
It could go either way.
Yeah.
1 through 3
I just think,
anyway.
The takeover. I'm going to go Tracy McGrady just because of the take over the game element. Like, because to me, that's the separator of good and great players is guys that can take over the game. And I've seen Tracy McGrady just take over games and, carry teams. Grant Hill has too as well, but he does it more in an all-around way as opposed to scoring. So just for that take over the game factor, I'm going to put Tracy McGrady 2 and put Grant Hill 3. But you could go either way with this list. You could go all different 3. It's no bad picks.
I'm going Tracy McGrady, number 1, Hardaway, number 2, and Grant Hill, number 3. It's really that easy. Chris about to follow the same list I just had.
No, don't tell me what kind of list. I don't copy lists like you because it's not that. It's really not that easy. My number 1, I have Grant Hill. I mean, I love all 3 of those guys, but realistically, Grant Hill was about to give the mantle as the face of the NBA before the injury. He was about to be the face. He was LeBron before LeBron is in a small forward, being all around. He was way better skill-wise than Scottie Pippen. If you put Scottie Pippen on those Bulls teams, they're going to win that break between when Jordan retires. If he was playing, they're going over to him one of those championships. He was really all around. He could score, take over. He could get everybody involved. He could rebound, go coast to coast. For me, when you talk about all around guys, I think Grant Hill is my number 1. If it wasn't for the injuries, it's for all 3 of these guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
All 3 of these guys. If it wasn't for the injuries,
absolutely.
They're all winning championships and have better careers. Number 2, this is tough. Number 2, kind of the same thing what Kenny said. He was the closest thing to Magic Johnson that we'll ever get in Penny Hardaway. I think people really forget how really talented Penny Hardaway was. 6'7", 6'8". He was the new school version like the no look passes. He had more athleticism,
better
he
handle
shot
than
more,
Magic.
better
More
handle.
athletic than Magic.
He was just the '90s version of Magic.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad that injuries cut his career short because I feel like he had the skill set to carry a team. But, because he was trying to play injured, he even came out and said, I would come back and try and play at 70%, not 100, and I would always shut him back. But you talking about a guy, a 6'7", 6'8" point guard, for me, if you got a guy that tall and that talented, if I see, like when I look at tall point guards, like LaMelo, like Lonzo, like Ben, I get heart eyes because it's like, how dominant you could be with that height and that skill set, and that's what Penny Hardaway was. In 3, it's tough. I was debating between 2 and 3. I'm going T-Mac at 3. I think scoring-wise, he's better than all 3 of these guys. I think scoring-wise, he's up there. When we talk about talented scorers, gotta put him in that KD conversation. This is a guy that could, that Kobe conversation. 6'8", 6'9", that was playing 1 through 3 that could take over. I do feel like I feel like if he wasn't hurt with that Houston team, they definitely could have did some damage with him and Yao. This was one of the toughest ones I ever had to do. And honestly, going into this, I was going to put T-Mac at 2. Like as soon as but I just thought about, Penny being that new school version of Magic, and but it's tough, man. But yeah, Grant Hill, Penny, and T-Mac, it could go either way.
Yeah.
There you go.
Penny had the most playoff success out of all 3.
He did. Go to the finals.
Yeah, to go to the finals. And then, I just think T-Mac, man, he had the worst luck. Because think about it. In Orlando,
him
and Grant Hill never got a chance to play together.
If those two played together.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And they were trying to get Tim Duncan as well.
And they almost had it. If those three are healthy.
No doubt they won the championship.
Say goodbye to the Bulls. Say goodbye to the Lakers. We talking about dominant, trio. They topping that. We talk about Scottie Pippen. We talk about Michael Jordan. They in that conversation.
That would have been something to see.
They in that conversation.
And then going to Houston, and him and Yao Ming never really got a chance to see them both be healthy. So he just was he had some really bad luck. So I really feel for him.
Same.
Well, gentlemen, this is another episode of Real Talk. It's been real. Hopefully this Thursday we can have Jay back on. Jay's kind of under the weather. Then we'll have the full cast. But you guys already know how I'll do. I'll bring the real talk to the
real bad talk.
You bring the delusional takes that pisses everybody off.
But hey, I will say this, Chris. I missed you. I miss you.
I didn't miss you.
Somebody that can kind of challenge me.
Oh, please.
Kenny beat you in debate.
Oh, please. After you took that L to me,
you lost every person on Real Talk. You lost, and it's on camera.
There's no basis in reality.
Nothing you say makes sense. And I'm mad. I'm mad that it pisses me off. I'm mad that I get pissed off at the dumb things you say.
And check this out, Chris. I actually took it easy on them. I really could have swept them.
I did too.
Yeah, I just
comments was telling me
trying to challenge myself to see if I could beat them. Would it take? I didn't really think that would win, but I was trying to challenge myself. So I just threw him a bone on the last one.
And he still folded like he always does.
It's all good. It made me proud that you guys step up to the competition.
You don't. I mean, you play off Freddie.
Over.
You play off F.
Play off F. Oh, that's funny. Pandemic F, huh? But until Thursday, you'll see us again. We'll bring the heat. Hey, you guys enjoy the rest of your week. You guys be safe. You guys have a good night.
Peace.